Today is Thursday, and I wanted to come back on. Welcome to all my new subscribers. Thank you all for watching. I don't get very many views, but I appreciate those of you who do watch. But I wanted to come on this morning and talk about something. I started talking about it, and then I got sidetracked. I do that a lot. And my son was telling me the other day, he said, you know, if you're going to do, he said, don't when you do YouTube videos, you to have some type of script so you stay on point. I said, wow. He wants to be a screenwriter, and so he's actually written a script. And I was really impressed, y'all. I told him, I said, well, I'm just, he had asked, well, let me tell y'all about him first. So he had asked me to buy him these different books about, that's what he wanted for Christmas, books about screenwriting. And so that's what I bought him. Some of his Christmas gifts. So he wrote a script, and so he told me he was finished with it. I said, okay, give it to me. No, I said send it to me, and I'll go ahead and format it or whatever. So I took it and I started formatting or whatever in my spare time in the evenings, and I said, I called him in there. I said, hey, I said, do you know what font? He said, yeah, Courier 12 points. I was like, oh, excuse me, baby, he's done his homework. Do you hear me? And I'm so proud of him because he's overcome so much. But anyway, back to what I started talking about yesterday, and I want to finish today because I didn't do a good job. Okay. And I was talking about the college students heading out to college for the first time, leaving home, and I was talking about how first be safe, remember the lessons that you were taught. If you ever leave your dorm room with other people, first of all, back in the day, we used to all get together. The people that grew up in everybody from home. When I was at Grambling, everybody from home would get together and have like little house parties, or we like go to the football stadium and have us like a little powwow, whatever. But we were a close-knit group, and we looked out for each other. I remember one time I wanted to come home and get some money from my mom and dad, and one of my we call each other homeboys, homegirls. He and I liking each other, so he's like, "No, don't go home. I'll give you a couple of dollars." So I didn't go home. He gave me some money, and I stayed at school. But anyway, it's so different now. I remember the first time I was offered any drugs, I was in college. We used to go over sometimes in the evening and watch the band perform. That's before we actually got to those books. You know, school hadn't really started yet. We were just feeling our way around campus. So, we were over, because to get to where they were practicing at, we had to go through, because they had the women dorm separated from the men, and we had to pass through the men dorm where they live to go to where the band was practicing at. And this guy, hey, y'all want to buy some cocaine? And I'm looking like, what the hell is cocaine? I was green. Yes, I was. Had a child in high school, still green, still am a little green to some things, but you know, God is my protector. Anyway, so my advice to someone going off to school now, male or female, I'm not going to say boy or girl because you're young men and young women now, but know who you're hanging with. And sometimes you think you know and you don't. But what you need to do is, before you leave your dorm, make sure you have some money. So if you get into a situation, and have your phone charged. But if you get in a situation you don't feel comfortable with, you can get out of that vehicle and call your Uber, tell them to drop you off somewhere safe or whatever. Don't ever stay in a situation that can end up getting you in trouble. Because I'm going to tell you, a lot of times, we as a society, and I'm going to say we because I am part of the society, and I always want to say it that way, we tend to look down people that's been incarcerated and things like that. But you know what? Like our pastor say, the only difference between us and them is we didn't get caught. Remember the story I told you about? I had got a ride home with my homeboys, and we were halfway home, and they started smoking weed. And so by the time we got out of the car, man, I was dizzy. I probably was high from that weed, but that was his vehicle. What I was going to do is say, put me out on the side of the road. So now with your cell phone, with your little extra money in your pocket, you can get out and call an Uber, call your mom, call your dad, and go somewhere safe. You know, times are so different than when I was in school, what, 30-something years ago. So be careful out there. one thing I can tell you about school, go to your classes. I didn't buy my books. I've learned my lesson after the first semester. I didn't buy my books until I actually went to class. Because a few of my professors gave you everything you need to know was in the notes that you took. So wait and go to school your first day, or meet your professor or whatever before you go purchase those expensive books. See if you can find them used or whatever, if they're in decent condition. Try to get in you some study groups. Surround yourself with people that actually go to class, that want to be involved. I'm back. I'm on my lunch break. It is hot out here. I think she said the heat index today, I'm on this bridge. She said the heat index today may be up to 110 degrees. Lord have mercy. I'm praying for those people that don't have air in their homes and their cars. Whew. You don't know how blessed you are until your air go out. I remember one time I was giving my son a birthday party, and he was young. And in the middle of the birthday party, the air stopped working. And I had so many people in the house, and oh my God. And my boyfriend came to pick up. He said, "Oh Lord, it's hot here." I said, "Yeah, the air went out." And his birthday is the last part of June, so you know that was hot in Louisiana. But yeah, so please stay hydrated. Anyway, and one of the guys I work with, I was talking to him one day, and he said that he was coming from somewhere. He was off that day, and he said he got a little dizzy or whatever. He didn't think anything of it, and so he's like, he just couldn't get it together. And he went to the doctor. He'd had a heat stroke, but he said as far as they can see, he didn't have any complication as a result of it. Thank God for that, though. But anyway, I don't know where I ended talking about the kids, the graduates and stuff like that. And like I said, I don't get many views. That's fine. I mean, I would like to get more, and I think eventually I will, because I'm not fake and phony. I'm not coming from a place of manipulation or anything. I just am who I am. But anyway, just talking about the kids and getting ready to go back to school. We had one guy, one of my classmates. He was dressed real well. Y'all, one of the local tuxedo rental shops actually let him start advertising the tuxedos. He started wearing them to school like maybe 2-3 weeks before it was time for prom, maybe a month before prom. And we all was on this cooperative office education program where we worked our senior year. So I went to school half a day and worked the second half. Very good learning experience. And I worked, well, back then we didn't have computers the way they are now. They had computers, but not like now. So what we would do, they would go in and make corrections to the utility bills, and my friend and I would have to go and make the corrections and make sure the tabulations were okay and everything, and mail them off. That's what we did my senior year of high school. It was a very rewarding job. I liked it. In fact, some people that was my age, that's my age, who started there right after we did, they've actually retired, because that's been 30 plus years ago. Yeah, but anyway, you know, and then let me tell you something. I always stress education. I always have. But then depending on what type of job you get in, there are some people that went to work right out of high school. They got a state of Louisiana job or whatever. They were able to retire 30 years and live a decent life. So, you know, you get back what you put into it. Whatever you do, be your best. Sometimes we look for shortcuts, and the easy way is not the best way. I've learned that for myself. But yeah, some of the things I talked about, I'm not gonna go back into it again, but just be careful. And the guy I was telling you about, the reason why I brought his name up is because, well, brought his situation up, I'm not gonna give you his name. The semester after I left Grambling, because I went to Grambling, GSU rocks the house. Yeah, but anyway, I got a call, and it just broke my heart. Because you know I'm all about people being productive, being positive, being happy, being safe and all that. And y'all, somebody here gone to a party. Somebody slipped something in his drink and he's never been the same. Never been the same. And that's just so sad to me. How could you do that to somebody? So be careful. Like I always told my kids, and I know everybody tell their kids that. If you sit your drink down, that means you don't want it. Once you put it down, you may as well pour it out. Don't drink out of that glass. You know, it's the days we live in ain't like it. Well, this was way back 30 years ago. So if it's worse now, think about that. Think about that. Protect yourself. Protect yourself. I think I may have been talking about protecting yourself and trying to stay and not having sex until you're married. And I know a lot of people are like, girl, whatever. I understand people feel that way, but if I had to do it all over again, I was telling y'all, I wouldn't have a child until I was totally able to care for that child.